Welcome to the levels of dunking, finally bringing simplicity to know exactly where you're at and what specific dunk you should work on every session. As you know, Tuesdays is 2-foot jumping, Fridays is 1-foot jumping. I'm going to show you each level for each style of jump. Rather than show you something unrealistic, I'm going to use this rim, which can go from 8 feet to 11 feet, to show you a real challenge for myself at each level. So the rules are 1 level per session. Film, edit, and send me your best rep from each side at the end of your session. Level 1 has to do with touching. So that means an either side jump with an inside hand touch, which is easiest because that's closest to the rim, and then a 1-2 landing. Let's take a look. I'm going to show you 1 foot and then 2 foot for every level. Once you can do level 1 for a jump, now you want to work on level 2, which is touching with the outside hand, which takes more hang time and more difficulty in the air. Let's take a look. Notice how my 1-2 landing has switched sides. But for 2 foot, it tends to stay the same. Now that you can do either side, you can put it together for a 2-hand touch, which results in a 2-foot landing. Now it's time to start dunking objects, but keep in mind, say you have one of those adjustable rims that goes 9 foot, 9, 6, 10 foot. Well, say you can do all your dunks to 9 foot, then you can probably start back from the top 9, 6. So I'm simply demonstrating at a level that challenges me, but height and rim height are arbitrary. Just because a guy's 6'6" and can dunk on 10 foot doesn't mean he's a better jumper than you. So use an appropriate rim for each step, and once you can do all the steps, then you look at increasing the rim height, or if you're doing that on 10 foot with all of them, that's where we'll get into the level 12 stuff, which simply means more in-game techniques. So let's carry on. Once inside hand is complete, time for outside hand. When you've got them all with a small ball, now it's time to go to a basketball. There's an intermediate step which is not pictured here, and that is you are allowed, when you finish level 5, to work with a partner on doing those same dunks with a lob. However, you're often by yourself, in which case you can use a self lob, but again, this dunking progression is for in-game basketball dunking. So once you can do that level 5, you definitely have a good chance of being able to start working on your dribbling technique into real game dunks. But like I said, it's important that you understand you may, if you're struggling to go from level 5 to level 6, you can do an intermediate step, which is having a partner throw a lob or giving yourself a lob. When going to level 6, it's important to master the extended step. What that means is when you're dribbling in at the rim, at full speed, the ball doesn't necessarily carry. So instead of having to dribble 1-2, you can actually run with your steps into a jump. That's called an extended step, and you're going to see that off 1 foot or 2 feet. Notice as I go in, I have to almost cup the ball as I'm running. That leaves my other arm free. So if I actually went around a defender, this keeps the ball protected away from the defense. So instead of bringing it back, I'm keeping it away, and I'm getting to use my other arm to swing. But if you see me, I have to use a cupping technique, whereas someone with bigger hands could palm it and do the same thing. So you'll see a lot of guys who can palm, and maybe that's you. So you have to decide, when I get here, am I a cupper, or am I going to palm and then go into it? So you're either going to go from 1 jump to 2, or from 2 to 1. off 2 feet, you have to be careful not to pick the ball up too soon. So you're gonna keep it in one until that left leg comes off the ground. Level 7 is almost like level 6, but let's take a look at the dribble in versus the extended step. Dribble in technique allows you to jump on command out of nowhere, off. Let's take a look at that for 1 foot. Dribble, step, jump, or off 2 foot, dribble, step, jump. Whereas extended step simply allows you to get more speed. You already see that you're open, so instead of putting down that next dribble, you go right into your jump off 1 foot or 2 feet. Level 8 is back to your extended step, but a 2-hand slam. Notice again, the 2-hand slam is most likely a 2-foot land. Now the dribble in, same thing, 2-hand slam. Now we're getting real juicy. Back to extended step. Same hand that you jumped off of. Last one to demo is 11. Keep in mind, level 12 is gonna be things like the technique of how do you Euro step into a 1-foot jump, or how do you hop step the way Michael Jordan did into a 2-foot dunk. So level 12 is for the guy who's got level 1 through 11 and is a total master. And don't feel bad if you get into some of these tougher levels. No one in the history of basketball my height has dunked in games doing all these different jumps. So even if you start out really bad, realize you're putting money in the bank. You're challenging your muscles and tendons more than if you stayed with what you normally do. That's so proven that giving yourself a new stimulus, you have newbie gains waiting for your vertical. Plus, who goes up an inch on their vertical every week, year round? It's impossible. That'd be 52-inch gain in a year. Absolutely impossible. So if you can find the exact weakness you're at, I guarantee results. So let's see this last one. Dribble in, going off either side with now the outside hand finish. Closing time, jump balance, dunk balance, and landing balance. You got gains in the tank while you're building an even fortress for future gains. The highest jumpers in the world only go up 2 to 3 inches per year, and pain is what they run into. This style prevents you from getting out of balance, thus protecting your body, building your muscles evenly, and giving you a real rocket pad for the long term of your vertical.